going on, my stock market trading friends? How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Brad. If you don't know who I am, what a great week. Just a I don't know, just a good week. Not really anything like not really anything like profit and loss wise, it was a good week. I don't know, just a good week. Just that's all that I really have to say. Just a good week. Hopefully you guys had the same. It's really easy, especially like on Friday. Now that we do Friday nights, and we get to kind of like end the week. Sorry, my stream on my monitor tablet is like dial-up quality. It's like really easy on a Friday night to like look back throughout the week and say like, oh, well, I missed here, I'm there, and like carry that into the weekend. But I've kind of gotten into this new like mindset where like, listen, like I'm done trading on Fridays typically by noon, and so that kind of allows me to it kind of allows me to prepare for the mental state of the weekend, because if you trade all week long, naturally when Saturday comes around, you're kind of like a little skittish. I've got ADHD really bad anyways, and so come Saturday morning I'm like real confused as to what to do. But I'm trying to like let my mindset like start to slow down a little bit on Fridays. But this was a good week. There wasn't anything. I don't really have anything major to report. We're going to kind of go through. Well, let me just say this. If you're new, welcome. Thank you so much. Make sure you click the subscribe. We are live every Friday night at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And on this show, we talk all things options. Last couple of weeks, we've sort of, now that we are, we're hitting a good stride, we've gotten great feedback from the chat. I've had some really good conversations with people, over the weekends and outside of the live stream and stuff like that. And so what we do during our show is we're big on the name Technically Options. We are big on combining technical analysis with options trading. I'm a full-time options trader. I only trade options. And so, throughout the show, if you have questions, we focus on options during this show specifically, but please feel free to ask if you have a question relating to trading in general. But all of our information and things that we go over and the tickers that we talk about are going to be options related. So if you ask for a ticker and it doesn't have options, I'll pull the chart up and look at it. But if it doesn't have options, I don't mess with it. I only play tickers that have options. So I'll try my best to kind of give some information if you have any questions. But we're real interactive. We're very, and look, we have two of our longtime listeners here. Thank you guys. It's good to see everybody here. Thank you for tuning in. Always appreciate the support. But we're focusing primarily on options trading. And one of the things, as I was mentioning before, one of the things that we've been doing these last couple of weeks, we've actually been looking at a lot of the options data from the week. And we are trying to basically, I am a unusual volumes alert kind of guy. I follow the options flow all day long. I literally watch every single order come through. That's how I trade options. I primarily trade volume. And Benjamin says it's his first time here. Hello from Germany. Make sure everybody in the chat says hello to Ben. VS says he executed his first bull put spread today, which is one of the advanced option strategies. Make sure you wish that some success. Once you kind of get into the more advanced strategies, they are a little tougher than just buying and selling calls and stuff like that. So if you're interested in learning more about advanced strategies and things like that, please feel free to drop a question in the chat. Rogeria says hi. She's a member of the Discord. We have a free Discord channel, and she joined a couple of weeks ago. She's actually been doing great. She's very involved with our community. She's trying hard to learn. She's trying to get better and things like that. Christine, my lovely wife, says Thomas is super disappointed. I just put you on instead of the Wiggles. I'm going to lose to the Wiggles all the time. Listen, so those of you know, I have a son. My wife and I have a 9-month-old son. His name is Thomas. He is literally my world. He is obsessed with the Wiggles, literally obsessed with them. And he's 9.5 months old. The first TV he watched was the Wiggles, and immediately he became obsessed with it. So they're upstairs. Thank you guys. Joshua's first time here as well. Nice to see you. Albert, first time here from Southern California. Thank you for tuning in. Chris Adams says, hi, I will be in the class tomorrow. The Benzinga boot camp is tomorrow. he says, congratulations. Thank you. Appreciate that. I have a call on PLTR, $30 for January 2022. That is what we like to call an LEAP leap. Does anybody know what a leap is? You could probably figure it out just by looking at date, January 21st, 2022. Okay, we're just going to dive right in. Okay, so what the new thing, actually, let me just say this before I forget. If you have questions, please drop them in the chat, okay? What we're trying to do as we work through the show, the feedback that I've received from numerous people is to work my way through questions, to work my way through tickers, to work my way through that. And so that's what we're going to try to continue to do. I've got things in mind that we're going to I want to go over because I want to show you guys some of the options activity. The big one, okay, the big one today. I don't know if anybody followed Roku. Roku had, let me pull it up for you. So I am an options trader. So I am only options. And when I say I'm an options trader, I am only an options trader. That is my, I say it all the time. I'm not going to go back into the whole story. I've traded commons, done breakouts, done pennies, done everything. Options, that's my bread and butter. That's what I'm focused on. That's all I care about. So I follow primarily people on Twitter that are options traders or that are, very involved with technical analysis because they fit my style and, we trade similarly and things like that. I have numerous people that I follow and, numerous like guys on Twitter that I really look up to, that I really respect and that I follow their plays and they know what they're doing and stuff like that. Two of the guys I just want to shout out real quick. Charting Options, at Charting Options. He is like my, if I were looking up to one person as a trader, he's one of them. And then Theta Warrior, at Theta Warrior, is the other one. They are two guys that I really look up to in the options trading community. Theta does Lotto Fridays. Every Friday he alerts these plays and stuff like that. He had a Roku play run the Roku 435 call. Now it was today, so I mean you have to remember these are same day, these are same day plays. The Roku 435 was alerted at $1.80, and it ran to $39.75. That's a gain of 2,188%. Okay, so that's $3,800. That's unreal. I don't even know which one I'm looking at. The Roku 435. The Roku 435. Okay, so here you go. The Roku 435 here's Friday, at open was $1.55. I don't even think we need to say anything. Let's just sit here for a second and acknowledge what we're looking at right now. Okay. That's unreal. That's unreal. I mean, that is such a good. So basically what they do is, for, he's a similar, and I don't want to group myself in with these guys because they're so much better than I am. It's not even, but we trade the same way. We trade based upon support and resistance. We trade based upon breakouts. We trade based upon fib levels. We trade based upon, all of those things. And so basically what happens is when Roku gets to a certain point, if it triggers, basically is what it's called. If it's above a certain number, it triggers a call. If it's below a certain level, it triggers a put. And we call them Lotto Fridays because they are typically, number one, they are same day trades. They're day trades. You literally cannot trade it on day because it's expired at 4 o'clock. So it's a day trade. You have to remember that. They are day trades. These Lotto trades are day trades. You can only day trade them. So that's number one. Number two, on a trade like this, you have to realize that this return is very, very rare. Normally, when you're hitting like the Teslas, the Rokus, Microsoft, there's the Neos, AMCs, the stuff like that, stuff that has volume, you can day trade same day expirations on Fridays. You can. I don't necessarily know if you might, I mean, you might not want to because this Roku trade could have just gone the other way. It could have bounced off of a top resistance and then reversed. And, I mean, instead of, getting a profit, you're down on a Friday, you have a option expiring worthless. There's a lot of things that go into these plays when you take them. But the reason why I bring up stuff like this is because the potential return on some of these calls is just is unreal right now. The amount of volume on calls is just it's crazy. Okay, it's like it's just absolute. There's so many people that are trading options right now. First off, there's a lot of people that are trading options right now. It's just like the option market is very saturated. The trading, I mean, the market in general is very saturated. There's a lot of people that are trading. There's a lot of stuff that's moving, based upon like nothing really. I don't know. I don't want to say that like pump and dumps. I don't necessarily mean that, but like, sectors are running entirely together. If one starts to break out, then you can almost guarantee that more stocks are going to follow because of that sector. And that's not in and of itself unique. I mean, that's typically what happens to sectors and stuff like that. When you get a leader that goes, it's going to pull the other ones with them. But like right now, I mean, it's just, you can't keep up with the amount of options that you could trade. Let me say that again. You can't keep up. Like everybody's always focused on, there's everybody's the thing that like when people, like when I engage in a conversation with somebody in the community, or if I meet somebody and they ask what I do for a living, or if it's a friend asking, like what's going on in the markets and stuff like that. Everybody is asking for that next AMC or that next GameStop or that next Dogecoin or the next, what they're always looking for, that next one. And what I like explain to people is it's like, listen, like the market is so like hot right now that there's those types of plays like literally every single day. And what you have to do is you have to make sure that you yourself are setting yourself up to be aware of those plays. Okay. Because if you are only focused in on the AMC, if you're only focusing on the GameStop, if you're only, then that's all you're concerning yourself with. Of course, you're going to miss a Roku breakout that goes for 2000%. Of course, you're going to miss Tesla bouncing off of a top support or a top resistance this morning and pulling back and setting up for a really good return. You're going to miss those plays if you are not allowing your market eyes to expand. That's why, like, I always get back and forth with these people that are like so gung-ho about one stock. They're only talking about one stock. They're making content for one stock, telling people to buy one stock. And it's like, yeah, that's great and all. You bought in, at 14 or something, and now it's at, whatever it is. But in the meantime, you've got a good potential return, but until you actually sell, those returns aren't yours. Like you're just kind of like, it looks good on your brokerage account. Absolutely. So that's why, like, I always encourage people to like expand your mindset a little bit, expand your market eyes to make it look like, okay, I'm not focusing in just on one stock. Now, I also will say that I don't want you to like scan the entire market and try to keep up with every single stock that's running, because then that's going to cause you to go crazy. And you're not going to be, and Kenneth just said this, you can't catch them all. Like you're going to have to accept, number one, that you're going to miss a lot of plays. And number two, you're going to miss runners. Okay. Plain and simple. But if you at least set yourself up for, okay, I need to know more about what's going on in the market. I need to figure out a way that I can understand where the movers are. And maybe it's not running scans. And maybe there's, your style of trading looks different than a lot of other people's. And that's fine, because I think we all understand that, if you've watched me for, if you've interacted with me or you've watched me, I'm not trying to sell you a course. I'm not trying to tell you that my style of trading is the only way to trade. I will never say that. In fact, I actually am always talking about others that I think are better traders. I look up to people and I'm pointing people to them. I don't think the way that I trade is like the one size fits all. That's the great thing about trading, though, is that we can design our own systems to work for yourself, and what the system is that works for me might not work for you, and your system might not work for me, and and on and on and on. But like, listen, like every single day we sit down in front of the screens, we have an opportunity to be involved in the markets, and we have an opportunity to make money. And so on this show, and what we try to do every single week, is get you to understand how you can basically, if you were to like make a thesis statement about what we do on this show, it's how can we make you a more successful option traders. The best way to do that, okay, it is not going to be by writing everything down that I do as a strategy and a stem and then copying it, because you'll find it just doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. However, we are going to talk about things that I feel you can add to your options trading to make yourself a better options trader. Got it? Got it. So let's move on. Next, again, we have new people here. If you have questions, please feel free to drop in the chat. I want to get back to the question about PLTR because I kind of got sidetracked, and I do want to look at that. So somebody in the chat said they had the PLTR $30 calls January 21, 2022. $30 call closed at $1. There was 1.54K volume. And the this is actually like a really, really good leap. Now, let me just say this. Here, let's take a look at the old chart ski. Let me just say this. I am not playing PLTR. I'm not I already charted this. I'm not playing PLTR. Gosh, look at how that bounced right off that fib. Look at that. That's beautiful right there. Okay, so I'm a fib trader. I love fib retracements. I love the extensions. I love support and resistance levels. I love everything. I love when a stock just responds really well to the fibs. That's a good looking bounce right there. But so all-time high on PLTR is, what is it, 45 right on the top wick. It's 45. You've got the $30 call, which means you're going right about here. Okay. And if you look, you have some right around that 30. There's actually, if you see this, you've kind of got a little bit, you kind of have a little bit of a gap to fill in that area. Not a huge, not a huge gap, but I mean, even just looking at, you can see that the the volume in this area is very minimal. Okay. Now, I mean, granted, you have 6 months on that. The theta is 0.691. Okay, so you're not even you're not decaying like literally at all. And I mean, honestly, like a theta, even on a 30-day option, you're still going to have time for the theta to really ramp up. I mean, again, I'm not, I'm talking about from like a chart perspective. I'm talking about from a Greek's perspective, a volume perspective, all that stuff like that. I don't know anything about PLTR as a company. I mean, I know who they are, but I'm just saying I don't know, like, I don't know the events that they have coming. I don't know any catalysts. I don't know any, any triggers that's going to push them over the edge. So I can't offer any feedback upon that. But just from like hey, would I take this trade? I would take this trade. I think you're far enough out, first of all, that you're going to be able to allow this trade to develop. Because Pelter is, I know it's not Pelter, by the way. I know I pronounce tickers as, I hear them. You're kind of your biggest thing right now though is this movement right here. Let's kind of let's see just kind of real quickly. I mean, you have the beginning of like some waves here. So I mean, like there. This is the region where I'm going to be watching. $27. Okay, that's the first thing you need to be concerned with, is the $27 level. Is the option going to give you enough time to, are you going to have enough time to let the option develop for an actual chance to be in the money? Are you going to, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you're going to have all of that, but to fully maximize, and somebody actually just said it here. This is a good comment too. It might not go all the way to 30, but if you're managing it, you should be able to sell for a win. That's a great observation. And it's something I also always like to say. I am not always concerned about the option getting in the money. Okay. So that's another thing that it's often forgotten about with options, that you can make money on options that aren't in the money. Okay. Let me say that again. You can make money on options that aren't in the money. Now, again, there's, if you're hearing those things and you're thinking, I have no idea what any of those terms mean, we're not going to get into a whole big song and dance about it. Let me explain what I mean by that. Okay. You are, you are, let me actually just answer this question here real quick. I'm sorry. That Roku trade was virtually impossible to catch unless you're running algos. Still could have caught something, honestly, but that gain is okay. So virtually impossible and rare. Absolutely. But that gain is not allowed to retail investors. Now that's not necessarily true. I wouldn't say that it's not allowed. I would say that it's unlikely. Okay. Because a retail trader, if the alert was fired on a breakout of Roku, so it broke, it was alerted, or you could have played it early on enough in order to. Now listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm selling that option days before it closed. I'm not, that, but my style of trading is different. I'm not holding an option. There's no way I'm holding an option that long. But what caused the run of that option so much was Roku was in a wedge which broke out, and then it just left. It was gone. It was gone real quick. And so it's very tough to hit a 2000% runner. Let's just say that's probably easier to say. It's very hard to do that, mainly because you've got to be in the right place at the right time. But number two, your mindset when you're holding that trade that's up $1,000, you've got to tell yourself, okay, this option is expiring in like 4 hours. Am I going to continue to hold, or am I taking profits right now because it's Friday and this is expiring, blah, 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 blah. So, that's those big runners and stuff like that. Listen, they're very rare. So don't think that like you're going to become an options trader. You're going to, every single trade is a 2000% runner, because it's so rare for that to happen. Again, it just does not. Somebody said they're new to options, trying to strategize buying in or out of the money calls before earnings or after with NVDA. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how to trade earnings, or at least how I would trade. Now, again, don't forget they had their split, so the prices are going to be a little different, blah, blah, blah. If you are, somebody said, can you take a look at NIO? Yes, I will. I will take a look at NIO. Somebody said negative. 2000 happens very often. That's funny. Yeah, I'll take a look at NIO here in a second. NVDA, new to options, again, trying to strategize buying in or out of the money calls before earnings or after. Okay, so me personally, I try my best not to hold anything through the actual earnings. Okay. I think right now there is, we've seen stocks that have beat every single sector. Like all of their numbers are fantastic, but they miss in one small area, or they don't offer what's called guidance on the next quarter that's coming up. Especially if they're not offering guidance, that's almost an immediate sign that that stock is going to sell off. Okay. So NVIDIA could beat on every single financial aspect. Like every single, the words that they're using in their calls or their earnings reports. I've seen everybody that says we're not offering guidance on the next quarter because of the economy is so unstable right now. Netflix did this. I think Netflix was one of the big ones. A couple earnings reports ago, they didn't. They beat numbers and stuff like that, but they said they're not offering guidance on their next earnings report or on their next quarter, and they sold off because of that because people got concerned. It had to do with like subscriber counts and stuff like that. People got concerned because they weren't willing to offer guidance, which makes them think like there's something going on with it, so it causes them to sell off. So with earnings, again, VS said make sure to sell before the earnings report, but I wouldn't recommend holding through. That's what I do as well. Okay, so let's hypothetical situation here. Let's say that I am holding calls for a stock that is reporting earnings on Thursday after hours. Okay, so Thursday after hours. We got that? Thursday after hours. It's Monday. I have a call for this company that's reporting earnings Thursday after hours. The longest that I am holding that stock until is maybe Thursday morning, maybe. And it's probably I'm getting out Wednesday. Okay. And the reason why I say that is number one, I never hold through the actual earnings. I don't care what's happening. I don't care. Let me say that again. I don't care what's happening. I don't care what that company is probably going to report. I don't care what analyst Joe says is coming. I don't care. I am not holding through earnings because you have to remember, go back to the beginning. I am only an options trader. So if I'm involved in an earnings play, my hours are from what? 9:30 to 4. Can't get out pre-market, can't get out after hours. So a lot of these times, these companies report when after hours or pre-market. So that means I'm stuck from 4:30 all the way until the next morning. I'm sorry, 4 o'clock. I can't, I'm not doing that to myself. Like, that's why I don't a lot of times hold stuff through the weekends. I primarily am day trading and scalping options. I also have longer term options as well. But if I am my primary plays that I'm most actively involved in, I'm out same day, just plain and simple. I don't care what's coming. I can get back in. I'm not holding through earnings. So that's my personal preference. That's how I play. There's a lot of volatility when it comes with earnings reports. Okay. I'm not holding through earnings. So that you take that how you want to play it. If you think no, earnings is going to cause a spike and then overnight and there's a lot of things that can happen. Okay. Again, and we're seeing it right now that just because a stock beats earnings does not necessarily guarantee that you are going to have that stock run. Okay. Makes sense. Now says, hold on, Miles. Would you hold leaps through earnings? Yes, I would. Okay. Now leaps are an entirely different story. Okay. So leaps are anything that's like, technically be considered a true leap. It's got to be like 100 days and on. Okay. So with a leap, normally it's just in the portfolio pushed to the side. And I don't necessarily like forget about it, but I kind of have forgotten about it. If that makes sense. But a leap, a longer term, 30 to 45 days out, I'm talking farther out than a month option expirations. Yes, I will hold through that. Now, again, going into my play before I even entered into a contract, I know the earnings dates and things like that. So that's going to determine which contract I'm playing. I won't, like, if I'm 2 weeks out from a contract, I won't play the contract right at earnings. I'll go farther out then, because then what that does is that gives you a little bit more time for that contract to recover. If it needs to recover, it gives you a little bit more time for things to be working out. Okay. So I do hold leaps. I hold longer term contracts through earnings. I am not holding a day trade or a scalp or like a day or two swing trade through earnings. Okay. That's not what I'm doing. I can't have that much. It can't be that close. Okay. So I hope that answers your question. Do you only buy options or also sell? I really only buy. Okay. I might sell You know, I might sell some covered calls, or I might I typically only buy. I only buy calls, buy puts. I again, you know, I have sold options before. Um, you know, not to say that I never do, but just my primary style on a daily basis is buying and selling, and calls and puts, scalping, day trading, things like that. The said leaps would normally have multiple ERs before expiration, so IV will fluctuate. That's a very great point as well. Depending on how far of a leap it is, you might actually have multiple earnings. You know, again, that's that is, you just have to be aware of when the earnings actually is. Miles, another regular listener, says I'll hold through if my last contract is riding on house money, but scale out 99% on the run up. IV can kill you if you don't buy far out before. That's another great point. Another thing to do also, you have to make sure that you're scaling out. I can't tell you, you know, all of these people that are buying, you know, these contracts for like 5 cents, 10 cents, you know, whatever it is. And these freaking stocks are going crazy, and their contracts are like up, you know, so much money. And they're like, I got all of them. I'm holding them, diamond hands in it, bro. Like, that's cool, man. I took my profits already, and you know, I'm paying my bills. You got to learn to scale out. You have to learn, you know, you have to learn to scale out. So that's what I would do too. If I'm not buying just like one individual contract. When I'm playing options, I'm buying multiples and multiples and multiples. So I never, unless I'm scalping or day trading, I'm never just like buying 10 contracts and then like selling 2 and then 5 and then when I'm scalping, day trading, I'm buying 10, selling 8, buying 10, selling 9, buying 10, selling 10. Like, that's my movements. I'm trying to get in and out as quickly as I possibly can. But when you have a contract that you've already sold the bulk of them, you want to hold some through earnings, and it's house money. That's a great observation too. All right, so what else we got going on here? All right, so we're all caught up. All right, so the two stocks that we wanted to take a look at were NEO. We have Apple. All right, so let me get to take a look at NEO. Another one of the popular names. All right, so looking on the where are we at? We have a range of 47 to 40 with a strong bit of support, kind of like right in this range here. It's got a pretty decent wall of resistance right here to get through. I don't know. I don't really see anything that like jumps out as you know, I don't really see one way or another, bullish, bearish, or anything like that. I've played it, I've scalped it a couple of times. Nothing too major. I think you know, you can kind of see just by taking a look here, like anchor yourself on the top volume and look at the volume decreasing all throughout. That's your big concern with a stock like NEO. Is it's moving based upon, you know, retail traders kind of hyping it up, and retail traders, you know, really being involved in a stock like this. So your biggest concern on a stock like NEO is volume. So I'd set alerts on NEO based upon your support and resistance levels, so you're aware of how it's bouncing and things like that. And if it can break the, I mean, right now your range is the 40, let's say 44.90 to 47.45. You know, that's the range as far as, you know, your support and resistance. But the news doesn't say that. I don't know what you mean by that, Yusuf. Sorry. What was the other one? Apple. I'm playing Apple. I own many contracts of Apple. We have a very, very beautiful pullback with a nice consolidation to kind of give us a very strong range of support. See this little volume bar sticking out right there? That is a very, very nice shelf of support. We already are over the previous area. See these volume bars sticking out? We would consider that to be a shelf. We would be looking at, where are we at right now? I mean, we're like 148.20. I mean, you could see that it tested multiple times here. 1, 2, 3, almost 4 times in this little 149.90-ish range. Again, I like I said before, I really like this pullback here. This was a very nice pullback with a beautiful consolidation to give us a strong support, and then almost immediately it recovered all the way up to now we're making an attempt for all times again. I own Apple, so I'm playing it long term. I'm playing it as a do I have next Friday? I have next Friday calls, but then I have like August, September, October scattered throughout. Really, honestly, like with a stock like Apple or Microsoft, Facebook, Twitter, all these stocks that are just in sort of freaking clear uptrends, man, get in on a call and hold it for as long as you can. I mean, literally, just like don't even concern yourself with weeklies or the next week calls, stuff like that. Buy a monthly that's like 2.5 months away. Get in on one for $2 or $3 and just, it's almost like passive income. Again, I'm obviously now the stock could tank and but what I'm saying is like, get yourself involved in one of these big name companies that are just, I mean, you mean to tell me this chart, okay? You mean to tell me that what indicator do you have right here that tells you that you could say, it's overextended. It had its pullback. It had a pullback and consolidated. It retested previous areas of resistance, and now it's breaking through and going up again. Again, I'm just saying, I obviously am not like one of those people that says like stocks only go up and it's going to go to $1 million. I don't mean that at all. And I'll even say like one more like thing. I'm not an Apple guy. I'm not. I use Android stuff. I use Windows stuff. So this is not me being an Apple guy. Like I'm just looking at a chart that's in a clear uptrend from forever ago, and volume on the call. Like go look at the call volume on Apple. It's unreal. Like it's just absolute. Like people are so concerned with AMC and they're like mind blown at the volume that Apple was. I mean, Apple's not even close. Okay. Somebody said, will I hold Apple through earnings? Yeah, I mean, I will, because I've got so many contracts that are farther out. Okay. Now those contracts. So if you missed it when I was talking about, I don't hold things through earnings. Like, let me kind of re-explain what I mean. I don't empty my entire portfolio out just because a stock has earnings. What I mean by I don't hold through earnings is like, if I had, let's use this as an, when is Apple earnings? Actually, let's just do this. Apple earnings is July 27th. Okay, this is a fantastic example. Okay, so Apple has earnings on Tuesday. Okay, so right now your most the 23rd's obviously expired today. So now the 30ths are the earliest or the next expiration. 27th you would is the earnings date. So now if I'm playing anything on the 30th, I am probably selling. See, now Benjamin made a great point. Apple normally rises before, earning drops right after. That's a great observation. And that's something that you develop as you are you just know how the stock is going to react. Like you can't, that just comes from screen time and knowing the charts and knowing what the company does and knowing how they respond and doing your homework and stuff like that. Apple mostly rises before earnings and then right after it drops. That is a great example of what stocks do when it comes to earnings. Typically, okay, there is a run up to earnings. Earnings happens, sell off. Not always, not guaranteed, but that's most of the time what happens. Okay. So my July 30 calls, I will be out no later than Tuesday morning. Okay. Then I will just have like my late August, September, October calls. I won't have anything else. Then what I will do come Wednesday, I'll reevaluate if there is like let's say, for example, Apple reports earnings on Tuesday. Is it after? I don't know if it's after hours or if somebody wants to look it up and let me know. I don't know if Apple's after hours, before, or whatever. Let's say Apple reports after hours. Okay, so they report at 4:45 or whatever. Um, we'll see what happens with it then, and then come Wednesday we reevaluate, and we go from there. Apple, are they going to beat earnings? Apple, Benjamin says after hours. Thank you. Is Apple going to beat earnings? Probably. So you probably would be asking yourself, well, then why not hold through the earnings? Because if they beat earnings, and typically when a stock beats earnings, they go up, right? Yeah, typically. However, it's not what we're seeing consistently. And I have to go based upon what other stocks are doing. Like I have to take the entire market structure, okay? And I have to see, all right, so this stock just beat earnings, but they reported this, which caused it to drop. Very similar to Apple, maybe. Okay, so I'm not holding through earnings. You are you have to make a choice. Like, I don't think there's enough time for your option to recover. Let's just use this weekly as an example, the July 30th. I don't think there's enough time for you to play the July 30th and hold through earnings. Let me just say it that way. I don't think there's enough time for. Now again, like blow me up next week. I don't care. Like if Apple like explodes earnings and they go to like $1 million, and you say like, oh man, you should have held your point. I go ahead, call me out. Because first off, I hope that happens, because I've got plenty of other calls that I'm hedged on, which I'm fine if if they beat earnings, my July 30th weren't going to go much more anyways. But I don't think there's enough time, because you're going to see a pullback. Okay, there's going to be people that are taking profits. Plain and simple. That's what happens. People take profits. That's why we're playing in the market, is to make money, to take profits, not to see who has the biggest diamond hands or whatever other cool term you want to use. Like, I'm playing these stocks to make money, and I'm going to I'm going to miss profits, and I'm going to make bad calls and stuff like that. So there's a lot when it comes down to it. But again, I would not play an Apple July 30th call after earnings. Okay, I would only play it leading up to earnings. So again, I don't think you're going to have enough time to recover holding through. Like I just don't have, I just don't think you're going to get enough recovery to make that worth it. Because again, you have to remember, your calls are you're getting theta crunch starting Monday. So all these contracts that you see now, the prices are going to be much lower on Monday. So you always have to remember that once you're closer to your expiration, your theta ramps up. So not only are you fighting the stock and making sure it actually is going to go up, your theta is pulling it down. You're actually losing money like rapidly. Like theta is causing your option to decay. Therefore, like, are you going to be able to recover enough to make that option profitable? And again, that's why I said I don't think so. I would not advise it. I'm not myself doing it. My plan is to sell my July 30s on Monday, maybe Tuesday, but probably Monday. Reevaluate later in the week. Again, if I were to play the July 30th again after I sell mine, it's a day trade only. It is not an overnight hold. Let's all say that together. Don't overnight hold weekly options that are expiring that week. Plain and simple. Just don't, okay? Tech Gamer BB really wants me to check out Tesla. Should we make him wait? Or do we want to look at Tesla? I have one more stock that I have to look at, because there was somebody else that had a stock. Walmart, WMT. What do we have going on with Walmart? Evidently, at one point I was charting it, because there's a nice little wedge pattern that it was trying to break out of. All right, let's take a look at the old daily. Ooh, now this is nice. Okay. All right, let's take a look. See here. What do we have going on? We have very beautiful. This guy right here. Now, again, these are not like I'm gonna put this up for sure. This is awesome. Watched an interview the other day, and the lady that let me since we have new people in the chat, I apologize that I am always all over the place. I have ADHD really, really bad. And yeah, I just go. I'm sorry. I try to always like circle back around, but like if you're gonna watch, like you're just gonna have to deal with it. That's just there's like I just have I'm all over the place. And this is like you don't even know like half the stuff that's going on in my brain. Watched an interview the other day. The lady that is very experienced and successful said, in options, you need to look where the big money is, meaning search for a great open interest and volume. That is such a good reminder. That's literally how I have built my entire option strategy off of. Can't tell you, like I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel with options trading. I'm following where the volume is going. Plain and simple. That's why I've developed this strategy to follow the volume, to follow where everybody else is going. That's what I do. But again, that might not work for you. That works for me. Walmart. Walmart is a very, very solid chart right now. Walmart is on its way to a very weak resistance area. Like this entire area right here. If it can poke its little head through this top green trend line right here and enter into this purplish, like you are really entering into a thin resistance area. I don't know what positions you have or anything like that, but from just looking at the chart real quickly and seeing like what I expect it to happen, it breaks into this area, this 142-ish range up until was that like 144.50. It gets into that range there, you're set. I think you're we're very strong. I think we're okay. All right, so that's WMT. All right, Tech Gamer. Finally gonna look at Tesla for you. Check out Tesla option, $800 for July 30th. Okay. Now, let me put a disclaimer on with Tesla because Tesla is very tough to play. I don't recommend playing Tesla unless you are familiar with options. Right now, the $800 strike Tesla call for July 30th is at 40 cents, 43 cents. It actually was at a high of 55 today. Okay. All right. So the $800 call had 4.3K volume. Not bad. Delta of 1.85. That's not good at all. That's very. If you're not familiar with what delta is, let me just real quickly say delta is one of the Greek numbers for options. And there's theta, there is gamma, delta, there are volume, there are open interest, there are various data points in options trading that we focus primarily on. Delta is one of my main numbers that I watch. Delta tells you how much your contract should move, not guaranteed, but how much it should move. Delta of $1.85 is not $1.85. It's actually showing you that your contract is going to move a penny per dollar that your stock moves. So for every dollar that Tesla moves, this contract can technically move around 2 pennies. Now, you're probably saying, well, that doesn't sound very good. And if you did say that, that would 100% be correct. You do not want to play an option contract with a delta this low. But again, you have to remember that the contract price is only 40 cents. So how many are you buying? You buy 10, your delta is now, I mean, it's obviously not that much better, but it's at least increasing. The thing you have to remember, though, with Tesla out of the money calls, with Tesla out of the money puts, okay? Tesla is its own beast. Like, things can happen with Tesla contracts that you can't predict, okay? People buy them because it's Tesla. People buy the $800 strike for next Friday because it's 40 cents. And they know that Tesla can either make you bankrupt or a millionaire on one candle. So, yeah, why not get yourself involved in the game and see maybe if this $800 strike next week runs like crazy? Because, and you know, I don't want to like, you know, I'm not trying to like say like a guarantee or anything like that. I'm just saying there's a chance. Like, like when Jim Carrey, like in Dumb and Dumber, says, "So you're telling me there's a chance?" Like, there's a chance. Like, because Delta and all those things, like right now, this is what they are. Okay, you have to remember, like right now, that's what they are. However, Tesla spikes on Monday morning. All of these things are now being pulled because Tesla's running. Somebody said Tesla will not hit $800. Is Tesla going to hit $800 by next Friday? Probably not. Okay, and again, stranger things have happened. I'm again, I'm not a price target. I look at levels and stuff like that. So I don't play like analyst ratings. I don't play like, I look at support and resistance levels. And does Tesla have a legit shot to run to $800 by next Friday? First of all, it needs to run $157 if it wants to get there. That's the first thing that you need to recognize. Is it going to do that? I'll let you make your own decision. I don't think it's going to. Is it going to run up based upon earnings coming? Because earnings are July 26th, which, so Monday is earnings. Oh man, we've got a whole different, we'll get to start this whole talk over again. No, I'm kidding. Tesla has the volume every single day. Okay. Tesla is just one of those day traded stocks that is always going to have volume. Okay. You have to remember that there is going to be a push, because if Tesla goes up, contracts are going to go up. Again, it's tough to say because you have to be like experienced with Tesla if you're going to play it. I feel like, and it's funny because it's like when you apply for a job, they're like, we need 15 years of experience. We need this, we need that. Like, well, how are you supposed to get experience if nobody hires you because you don't have experience? How are you supposed to play Tesla and understand how Tesla moves if you don't just jump in and play Tesla? So that's the thing. Okay. That's the thing with Tesla. It's you just need to open up the option chain and watch them. How about that? Let's start with that. Tesla, again, it's a beast, man. I'm telling you, you guys think like, oh yeah, it's like option. Like, no, man, it's a beast. Like literally, like you will like, and Tech Gamer says, I should not have bought the $800 call options July 30th. Thanks for letting me know what Delta is. Tech, I'll give you, I will be honest with you on Tesla. The lower Delta number is not that bad. Okay. Because what's, I don't want to say it's more important, but what has a lot of bearing on Tesla is volume. Okay. Especially when you get these out of the money calls, because people like to buy them. It's plain and simple. People like to buy them. And really at the end of the day, depending on where you got in on that contract at, your risk reward, would I risk $40 on an $800 strike next Friday Tesla call? Maybe. Have I done that before? Absolutely. Have I bought way out of the money calls on big names because I think maybe they're going to run a little bit, it's going to pull the stock up, or it's going to pull the contract? Absolutely, I do. I think there's a legit chance that you can get in on one of these contracts. He said he got in at 42. So there you go. You got in at 42, which is $42. And if it goes to zero, you lost $42. I mean, really, like, if you can't afford to be playing to lose $42, you shouldn't be playing Tesla in the first place. That's number one. But number two is you need to recognize that $42 is, I mean, again, don't be so concerned when you're playing options. Okay. There's so many, we're going to start to wind down here. It says 555. There's so many things to be concerned about when it comes to trading options. All right. You have your Greeks, you have your volume, you have your open interest, you have your strike price, you have your premium price, you have your time to expiration, you have your theta, you have all of these things that you're trying to you're trying to line everything up properly so you can pick the right contract. But then at the end of the day, you have to remember that stock has to respond in the way that you want it to respond. Okay. So Tesla, we're playing calls, so we want Tesla to go up. So all of this underlying stuff doesn't mean anything unless Tesla actually goes up. But if Tesla goes up, then you still have to remember that these Greeks and stuff are going to matter. Okay. Somebody said, how about selling them? There's another option too. Now, depending on what type of broker you use, if you are selling uncovered calls or uncovered puts or whatever, you're doing, they are either going to, number one, you've got to have the shares in your portfolio to cover in case you get that contract exercised to you, or you have to have enough buying power in order to cover if you were called to get those shares. Now, again, everybody's broker is different. Use Robinhood; they'll let you do whatever you want to. No, they're a little different. Just kind of depends on your situation and stuff like that. I would caution, like, I would really caution selling options on one of the big names like Tesla, unless you've got, unless you've got the buying power, unless you've got the experience, unless you like really understand what might happen. Again, that's a yeah. Somebody said, do not sell naked calls. Plain is just don't sell options for Tesla. Like, even like one step further, don't sell Tesla options. Just buy and sell them after you're done. Do you scalp high cap stocks with options at all? That's literally all I do, Bracy. I would be more than happy to talk to you all day about that, but it's 5:57 and we are almost done. That's literally all I do. Honestly, I only play the high caps. I'm playing, volume runners and stuff like that. So you're going to get the lower caps and things like that. But mainly I am focused in on the big boys. That's all that it's all that I really focus on. Again, I am going where the volume is, plain and simple. Yeah. I don't, Delta is how much it needs to move the contract price. Delta is the amount contract price will move based upon the stock moving dollar. Okay. The delta represents, again, the amount that the contract should move, not a guarantee. It's how much it should move based upon every dollar that the stock goes. Okay. Brady said, I'll ask again next time. I would love to hear that. We're here every Friday night, or if you'd like to contact me directly to chat, go to tradinggrounds.live. And I'm sorry that it's in all caps. Tradinggrounds.live is my website with all of my social media links and my Discord room and things like that. Please feel free to connect with me that way. Do you have live trading? No, I guess is the answer to that. However, I do have a Discord that I trade through live. That I announce plays and I'm we have over 1,000 members of very intelligent traders from all walks of life. We all trade together as a community. You are welcome to join us. Again, it's tradinggrounds.live. You can click the link to get invited to the Discord, and I'd love to help you out with anything that way. Tech Gamer, what Tesla call do you have for July 3rd? I don't actually have any Tesla calls right now. First off, I don't hold Tesla calls through the weekend. I only day trade Tesla calls. I don't. Part of my system with trading Tesla is only day trading it. And when I day trade it, I'm scalping it. It's like I'm literally not holding it longer than an hour. It's, what screener do you use to find big volume options to trade on? I use two platforms. Number one, I use Unusual Whales. So with Unusual Whales, it is the platform that gives me all of the big whale alerts. It gives me all of the so any unusual activity for options that's coming through, it alerts me. And then I watch this all day long, which is the actual options flow. It is all of the option orders that are coming through on the ticker. I watch this. And I monitor volume and I monitor the alerts that I get, and I see if they fit my style, if they fit my, if they fit my risk and rewards and stuff like that. And I also use Benzinga Pro. And I'm obviously I'm here with Benzinga. I'm a contributor for Benzinga, so you can I'm not. I don't use Benzinga Pro just so I can say that I use Benzinga Pro on Benzinga's platform. I use it because it's literally the best news and alert service that there is available. It's not even a comparison. For news and breaking alerts and stuff like that, they're the best. I use them. I also follow options activity on Unusual Whales and free scanners. So if you go to barchart.com, Barchart actually does, at the end of the day, they update everything. Now they have they premium. I think it's called Premier. Yeah, it's called Premier. But they have, you could pay for it. But the end of the day data, that's what I was trying to say. Sorry. The end of the day data is free. And you could see it's legit. I use bar chart a lot. I use it in the evenings and on the weekends. I use it to go through all the options activities. So like, for example, here they have a list of the most active options, which is one of my favorite things to look at every single day. It tells you by ticker where the volume was, puts, call ratios, stuff like that. But then you can go to the actual activity itself. And if you want to sort by volume, you can sort by the highest volume and it'll tell you the actual ticker, or I'm sorry, the actual contract of the ticker that had the most volume. Okay. So like, for example, today, today's Apple, what is it? The 148 strike had the most volume. It had 228,000 contracts sold. That was the most volume traded on an option contract. Number 2, Apple. I'm telling you guys, Apple's where Facebook and all. I mean, that whole, like, so let's just say that Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, Twitter, Snap, Nvidia, those names, right, and Tesla, you don't need to look at anybody else if you want to trade options. Like, I'm being 100% serious with you. You could focus primarily on those tickers and be fine, and not even have to care about anything else. You could day trade those. You could swing them overnight. You could swing them a couple of days. They give you enough sort of there's enough volatility, there's enough volume, there's enough activity throughout the day that's going to cause the contracts to actually move. Concern yourself with those guys, okay? But again, you know, for a free scanner, bar chart, absolutely. FinViz is another one. FinViz is not so much options based, it is scanning based. But FinViz allows you to scan by chart pattern. So you can go in and set up, you know, a stock that's in an uptrend, or stock that's pulled back to a bottom resistance, or a bottom support, or it's at a top resistance. You can run scans based upon that way. It's also free. I use paid tools and things like that. You do not need those. You do not need those. You do not need those. Okay. I use them because I use them. If that doesn't make sense, like, what I mean by it is I pay for a subscription service because I use it that much. Like, I use it literally all day long, and it's a part of my trading system. It's part of my trading style. So it works for me. Again, you might be fine with bar. I use bar chart. I use it every single night after hours, and I use it on the weekends. I like to go through the data. There's a lot of good information on the site. So if you're trying to find something that's free, go to bar chart. And I'm not affiliated with bar chart or anything like that. I just think they're I just think they're a good company. They have good information. All right, we're late. It's 6:03. I got to go. No, I'm kidding, but I really do have to go. So that was a good show. That was a lot of fun. I enjoy my style of teaching and things like that. I like just sort of interact with the chat and just like work my way through. And so this is great. I really enjoy this. So click that like. We had 200 and some odd people here at one point. So hopefully our likes are way low, but hit the like button. Also click subscribe. I am live every Friday night, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Again, my website, I'm going to post it one more time. If you are interested in chatting with me, interacting with me, anything you want to learn more about, you know, trading, stuff like that, tradinggrounds.live is my website. Feel free to connect with me on Twitter. That's where I'm active a lot, but I'm most active on Discord. You are able to join the room if you would like to. That's, you know, we have plenty of people here that'll welcome you in. We will help you and teach how to trade. We're not selling you a course. We're not an alert service. We're not anything like that. We're literally just a group of traders that's trading together on a daily basis. And my goal with trading is to help other people become for my goal is to become better traders. So happy to do it. Again, I'm normally lingering in the chat too on Benzinga streams all day long. And so, you know, I would suggest watching, you know, I watch all the shows all day and I try to pop in as much as I can, but then I'm here Friday nights, 5 p.m. Eastern time. We are live on the Benzinga YouTube channel every week. Other than that, have a good weekend, guys. Stay safe, take some time away from the screen, spend some time with family. We'll catch you on the next one. See you guys.